evening, shocking video footage has emerged showing a severely disabled young man in residential care present at an alcohol-fuelled party where some of his carers stripped and used sexually explicit language. The camera phone footage, given exclusively to BBC South East today, was filmed at a boarding house for disabled young adults in Margate. It's run by the same trust that operated Westgate College for the Deaf, which, as we reported last night, was shut down after inspectors found institutionalised failings and abuse. Ali Fortescue's report contains scenes which some viewers may find upsetting.
It was Britain's oldest school for the deaf, but closed last December amid a financial crisis. The Care Quality Commission said it found institutionalised failings and abuse at the residential accommodation attached to the school. Tonight, we can reveal one damning incident at one of those boarding houses, which led to 4 members of staff being sacked.
Really move that, Jane.
On duty, these people are meant to be caring for some of the most vulnerable in society. We've had to blur this mobile phone footage because it's too graphic to show.
I'm a dirty I want to baby.
Swearing, drinking and stripping in a boarding house for disabled young people. And here, a carer, filmed by a colleague, dances naked around a deaf and blind young man. The council say it's likely this wasn't a one-off. It's something his mother can't bring herself to watch.
I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that that organisation could allow this to happen. And the people that I trusted did this. He used to do a lot of self-harming, where his face, he'd bash the side of his face and it would come up in a huge lump. He'd bite his hands, he'd thump on the floor. We never knew why. The fact that his behaviour's changed so drastically for the better since he's moved leads me to believe that this went on, and maybe worse, who knows, for a long time.
Sarah's son John, we're giving them false names to protect their identity, is severely disabled, which meant he needed 24-hour care at Thanet Lodge boarding house. It's likely John left his bedroom that night to look for help and wandered into the common room. He uses special communication methods to alert his support workers, but the loud music would have drowned out his attempts to get help. When we showed the footage to a charity that supports disabled people, their reaction: how did this happen?
Come on, guys, dance. We want to see you dance.
Their duty is to be there to provide support to this man. This is not providing support to this man. This is having their own debauched party. That's neglect, if nothing else. Absolutely. And to me, it's abusive. I think they're humiliating him, actually. I think they're kind of enjoying the fact that he can't see and he can't hear and he's not really quite at the party, but they can use him slightly as a kind of clown. I think there's some humiliation there. It's horrible, absolutely horrible.
Yvette Surridge, who was a team leader and meant to be in charge, lost her job in September 2014 when a whistleblower handed the video in, as did senior support worker Ben Healy, who was filming and can be heard interjecting.
Put that bottle down, get that bra off.
Support worker Jane Smith and David Gardner were also fired for gross misconduct, although it's not clear whether David was present while John was in the room. Kent Police concluded no crimes had been committed, but tonight John's mother is demanding action.
The one big thing that concerns me is the fact that there was no police prosecution whatsoever. There has to be advocates who know him, who can speak on his behalf and say, well, his behaviour's changed, so something must have happened, it must have had an impact on him, but it's just pushed aside.
Kent Police have seen this video, but they decided there was enough evidence to investigate further. In their conclusions, in this council report, they say they did not feel there were any sexual neglect or ill-treatment offences. But lawyers have told me police could and should have done more.
It is vulgar in the extreme. In my opinion, beggars belief. And of course, it was being filmed. And so the person who was filming this behaviour has no excuse, in my opinion, at all.
One of the suggestions is that because they didn't do it for their own sexual gratification, it can't be prosecuted. What do you make of that?
She is behaving in what can only be described as a sexualised way. And if you're behaving in that way, in front of other people, in front of a camera, that must be for your own gratification and probably for the gratification of the others taking part as well.
We contacted all 4 of those involved. Yvette Surridge says there was no conviction or prosecution because there were no young adults involved. David Gardner says he felt the incident brought no harm to the students, but admitted that he shouldn't have allowed it to go on. He said he cared for the young adults to the best of his ability. Jane Smith says she was at a difficult point in her life and deeply regrets what happened. And Ben Healy says there's no such footage that displays him acting inappropriately. It's this moment, deliberately filmed by a carer, that so upset John's mother and is at the centre of calls for more action, with many feeling this severely disabled young man has been let down by those in authority.
Well, our reporter Ali Fortescue uncovered the footage. She's here with me in the studio. Ali, as we've seen, it contains extremely disturbing images.
Yes, Polly. Well, I think what's so shocking about this is the fact that these people were actually at work, on duty. They were meant to be looking after seriously disabled young adults. But remember, this is just one incident where we know the identities of those involved. Yesterday's Care Quality Commission report highlighted serious failings, including allegations of physical abuse, but it's not yet known who was involved in those instances.
And what have the police said?
Well, police have looked into this twice before, but twice they decided there wasn't enough evidence to investigate further. Today, in a statement, they said that whilst the acts seen in the video are wholly inappropriate and irresponsible, they do not fit the criteria for a specific criminal offence. But clearly, questions do remain for the police tonight, especially from the mother of the victim in this video, who in the last half hour has told me how glad she is that we've shown this footage tonight.
OK, thanks, Ali. And if you've been affected by issues raised in the report, you can get further guidance and support by searching BBC Advice. You can hear live reaction to the story on the Radio Kent Breakfast Show with John and Maggie tomorrow morning from 6 a.m. also. A train hit cattle and derailed at